Ever since I first showed everyone my new Smith & Wesson Performance Center TRR8, I have a lot of people commenting, that gun just doesn't look right. It looks kind of plain. Why is that? Well, it's because I haven't set it up yet. I haven't actually put the accessories on this gun. Most people are used to seeing the R8, which has the rail built in down here. This rail comes off, so it does make it look kind of plain when it's not there. So the TRR8 and the R8 just don't look right without their rails. And I hadn't put them on this one yet. And I don't know if I'm going to put the top rail on it, but I thought I would go ahead today and get it set up the way I want it so that it looks right to everyone out there. Now, I know I'm definitely going to put the bottom rail on. That's not a problem, but I'm not sure if I'm going to put the top rail on yet because I don't have a scope yet. I don't know if it will look good on there or not, but I'll deal with that in a few minutes. If I don't use it, I'll just put in the little plugs they give you. They give you some little plugs that you can actually use. My only real problem with them is that they're silver, and who wants a big silver plug on the top of a black gun? So I have to do something about that. And while I'm doing something about that, I'll also do something about the cylinder release. Most people know I like to change out my cylinder release on these larger frame guns to an extended cylinder release from Hogue, but I've always had one small problem with that Hogue cylinder release on these black guns. These aren't blued, they're black. I don't know how well this will show on camera, but they're not an exact match. This is more of a blue-black, and the gun itself is actually a black-black. So it does stand out just a little bit. It actually matches the hammer and the trigger more than it does the gun. I want it to match the gun more. So while I'm taking care of those little silver screw plugs, I'll actually take care of this too. And to take care of it, I bought a little thing of ceramic coat here, and I'm going to be putting this on both those little plugs and on the cylinder release. Now this is Wheeler's something ceramic coat. Now people might ask me, well, why'd you choose this one? Is this the best one? I have no clue. I've never really done ceramic coat before. This is just the one that I could get from someone that would actually ship USPS instead of UPS ground, which UPS ground shouldn't be called UPS ground. It should be called I'm a cheap bastard that doesn't give a shit about my customers, and I don't care if they have to wait for a month to get something, because UPS ground is so freaking slow. It'll take 15 days sometimes to get something from the East Coast to here. I've had it take 7 days to get something from Northern California to Portland, Oregon. So I hate UPS ground. So this was actually on Amazon, and they would ship it 2-day USPS. So I actually bought this one simply because I could get it quicker. So all I had to do was really coat this stuff and then bake it. And I will have to say, if you've never used this stuff before, it is horrible. I tried spraying it in my kitchen at first, and then after I stopped dry heaving from the smell and the fumes of this stuff, I decided to take it out on the back porch and do it. And then I brought it in, baked it, and I think they look pretty good now. As you can see now, the little plugs are now actually ceramic coated black, so they will match the top of the gun much better. And the little Hogue cylinder release is also black now. And it is a very subtle difference, but it is different. I don't know if this will show up on camera, but it's definitely a lot blacker now. It doesn't have that blue tint the original one has, so it should match the body of the gun much better now. So now that I got everything here together and got everything Cerakoted, let's go ahead and get them on the gun, and then we'll decide if we want to use the top rail or not. I'll let y'all help me make that decision. Now when you're putting this together, make sure there are 7 screws for this, but there are 2 different lengths. There's 3 short ones that go on the bottom rail and 4 slightly longer ones that go on the top rail. Make sure you don't get that backwards, or your front rail will be very loose when you put it on. Now I'm not using any thread lock on these top plugs here because there's a little bit of Cerakote in the threads, and I'm afraid the thread lock might make them a little too hard to get out. And I'm not sure I'm leaving them there, and I've got extras, so I'm not worried about them falling out. So just going to put them in there hand tight with no thread lock. Okay, there, it's looking a lot better. That little rail in there adds a lot of interest to it. And if you look at the top here, the little plugs are a lot better than looking at those big holes in the top, and they're much nicer now that they're black than they were when they were silver. Now I just have to decide, do I want to leave it without the rail until I decide if I'm going to put a scope on it or not, or do I want to put the rail on it? As you can see there, the rail's not that obtrusive. It actually looks pretty nice on there. So I just have to decide yes for the top rail or no for the top rail, because once I put it on there, I'm going to leave it on for good, because it's probably going to get scratched up under it. So, and we all know how I am about finishes. So what do you think? Top rail or no top rail? Should it go topless or should it not? Now, before I leave, one other thing I did change here is the grips. I put Hogue G10 grips on here with a Piranha texture on it so I can get a little bit better grip on this gun when I'm firing it. Like these a lot better than the rubber. I've never liked the way rubber grips feel in my hand, so like these a lot better. I'm just not sold on the color yet. This is the black gray, but it does have a little bit of brown in it. I also ordered some green ones to see if I like the green better. So I'll let you decide. Which one do you think looks better here? Do you like the black and gray with that little bit of brown to them? Or do you prefer the green? Which one do you think looks better? So there you have it. We got the bottom rail on, we got the top plugs in, we got the extended cylinder release in, we changed out the grips, although haven't decided on which color we're going to stick with yet. We Cerakoted the cylinder release and the top plugs here so that they look a lot better. So hopefully the gun doesn't look quite so plain now. And this is the way it's going to look for a while, like I said, until we decide whether I want to put that top rail on there or not. But that's a decision I can make later. The only decision I got to make quickly is the one on the grip, so I can return the one I'm not keeping before Amazon tells me I'm stuck with both of them. So there you have it. There's what she looks like now. Looking pretty good. Just let me know what you think about that top rail. So there you have it. We got the top plugs in. We've got them painted.
I could not find the answer to your question.
God damn. Stupid watch. Kaden! Shut up! Smallest person in the house, but definitely the loudest person in the house. If I can figure that out.